everyone's okay. Sending out lots of love, good vibes. Oh boy, I've got some juicy stuff for you today. Some information and stuff. I'm going to keep the video short, I've decided, because I've realised that it's past about 15 minutes, a bit too long, isn't it? So, not too short the videos. No one needs to hear me for that. Yeah, so, let me tell you. The creative juices have been flowing, let's put it that way. Because I can't, my brain feels like like imagine the biggest firework display that you can, like a New Year's one. That's what my brain feels like with ideas today. Basically. I think I found, this is the thing, when you cut shit out, you just get so much more clarity on life. I was trying to start my I've cut down on caffeine, but I am going to try and go cold turkey from tomorrow, or from now. I'm drinking peppermint tea. Because here's the thing, and I'm not the only one. This is just from ideas from other people. I've really gotten into got back into my learning zone. So now I'm like in sponge mode for information, and that from CEOs. Wise words. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. If you think about it, we're addicted to so many things. We don't even think that they're an addiction, but they are. Or we're just in mass denial. Like caffeine. I've cut loads of shit out already, but I still smoke. I want to give up smoking. That's going to be the hardest one, I reckon. I don't know. So yeah, smoking, caffeine, alcohol, prescription drugs, recreational drugs, TV, gaming, shit food, which has loads of shit like additives and whatever, which aren't good for you. Believing lies. And you've got to think about it. If you have one of these addictions on their own, does enough damage to your body and your mental health and ability to make good decisions. So you're basically impaired. And then if you think on an average day, I mean, this is talking from experience. So you're drinking coffee. I was drinking coffee all day by the pint, not just like the occasional one. Like literally this size in coffee, and I'd have, I don't know, 4 or 5 of those. That's so outrageous, isn't it? So there's that. back when I was drinking as well, so I was having a drink, not like, you know, I'm an excess. I'm an all or nothing kind of gal. So I was a binge drinker. So when I did drink, I'd go all in. So then you've got caffeine, obviously nicotine. Then the thing is as well, I'm going to show you some videos of this from other people saying the same thing, because it is true. So then you end up like, and then that's it. And then you've got to add on people who take uppers and downers to get, you know, to stay awake or go to sleep. These smart drugs as well to keep people awake, and there's a natural equivalent, but of course that's illegal, which is ephedrine. That's a natural, I believe. And anyway, that's an aside. But so you're adding all of these things, and then you end up making shit decisions. You make real bad decisions, life decisions, or in the moment decisions that you know are bad decisions, but you do it anyway because you want to ignore your inner voice, which is screaming at you, don't do it. Don't do it. You know you shouldn't do it. And then, like, then you end up having shit sleep. Then the next day, you know, you feel awful. And then you're probably going to feel guilty for doing it. Then you're going to then you're going to probably eat crap to make yourself feel better, which actually does the opposite. Then it, because digesting is obviously takes up the most amount of energy. So then you're just going to feel lethargic and tired. And so the cycle goes. And then you just sit and watch TV, which basically just is like turns your brain to mush, unless you're, depending on what you're watching, and depending on also if you're conscious of it. Because if you're the way, you know, when I've watched TV lately, I don't watch it like I'm watching the story. I'm using it like a lesson. So I've got my notepad. I'm like, what lessons am I learning here? Write down some notes and then research it. But yeah, so all of those things, because the thing I was saying is one of those on its own is bad enough for your body. And then if you're doing all of those all the time, think of what that is doing to your body and your mind, just on a very on that level alone. And then and that's not even factoring in, that's you doing it to yourself. It's like self-torture. It's like, you know, self-flagellation almost. And you do it anyway. That's the crazy thing is, you know, you carry on doing it even though you know these things are bad for you. A perfect example, here you go. I've not always had this. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of it. Oh, that's really wrong. But in my 20s, I started getting really bad tummy and irritable bowel syndrome. Right, so you'd think that I would. Well, first of all, you'd think that the doctor would give you a list of things. You shouldn't expect anyone else to give you answers anyway. So let's scrap that. It's not the doctor's fault. It's my own. I should have gone away and gone, irritable bowel syndrome. Let's look at what one should and shouldn't consume. But I did not do that initially. And even when I did do it, this is even worse. Even when I did do it, I just ignored it anyway. Because half of the things on there, it's like alcohol, it says on there, shouldn't have that. Coffee, shouldn't have that. Red meat, shouldn't have that. You know, just like gluten, wheat, all of those things. I shouldn't have those. Because it, you know, it affects, and that's just, but you do it anyway, you carry on. So we're making ourselves sick. We haven't got control of, and then we're making impaired decisions about our lives, our communities. Think about the people in charge. They're exactly the same. And then they're running the fucking country, or countries, governments. You know what I mean? These people have got nuclear codes. Come now. How it's crazy talk. Anyways, so that was just a little side note. But obviously now I've learned better. So I'm starting my caffeine detox, and I'm gonna, because also the thing is I've eaten less and less over the last year. I really notice it when I do eat, in the sense it just wipes me out. I literally, when I do eat, it's like switching me off. I am no use to anyone at any point. Just switch me off and put me on the side and literally pass out. And but I dream a lot, and so I still consider that work. Because if you think about it, we only use 5% of our consciousness when we're awake, 95% when we're asleep we can access. So technically, when I'm asleep and I'm dreaming of things that I want to create, that's still working. That's what I'm seeing it as. Yeah. So there's that. The other really important piece of information that I found out just not that long ago was, well, there was loads, to be honest. I'm not going to rehash it all because I've been watching CEO videos non-stop for about 3 days, all of which has been very entertaining. I'm totally addicted to it, actually, if I'm going to be honest. Right. The Human Genome Project. I'm going to put a link into it, right? Human Genome Project was, hold on. I think it was 19, no, I'm not going to say, because let me just double check it. Right, so this was a project that was done with loads of countries. This is not, I haven't discovered, this wasn't through, and this was through watching a video. Someone else mentioned it. I was like, oh my gosh, say what? Oh, just while that's loading up. Listen, folk. Listen, family, warriors. Where are all the sensible people, but all the woke people, all the sensible people, where are they putting their money? It's not in a bank. It's in cryptocurrency. Because cryptocurrency increases in value over time. Like, you know, obviously there's dips and peaks and troughs, like with any stock, but ultimately over time it always goes up like stock does. Well, not always, but you know what I mean. It kind of goes like, I can get my whiteboard that I've totally stolen that. My diagram that I did before about stocks, because there's some people need to not get into it, but we need to make money. We need to make so we can create something amazing. That's just my absolute goal. Let's build something fucking epic. So yeah, if you get an eToro or whatever, you can copy successful traders' trades, and you only need a minimum deposit. So that's a good idea. You want to make a little extra side cashish. There's a, whatever you think about this, I'm not talking about smoking cannabis, I'm talking about taking the oil that's medicinal. It's been proven to help with anxiety, stress, depression, cancers, loads of things, as an oil. Now, the UK government have changed, or it's changing, in the process of changing the legislation on this. So, because I've signed up to everything ever, I'll get loads of information in my inbox, not that I get the chance to read it all. But there's an investment on UK CBD oil industry, 43% return on investment. So I'm going to put a link to it. Everyone needs to get in that, because also, not only if you invested in it, that you get that return on it. So it's a brand new industry, but also it means it's going to blow up, because people be able to grow it, make it, and then or become a reseller of it. Like, it's just a money maker. Peeps, get in. And there's one in Canada as well. There's stocks on, penny stocks on the cannabis industry there, because that's about to blow up. So everyone should get involved in that. Making monies. Monies. Look at that. Because ultimately, we should get to a point where nobody needs the state. Nobody needs no universal credit or whatever it is in other countries, because we're all making money. Should we bow then? Don't need them. So let me tell it. Oh, so that was that one. I did have some other financial news from my financial. I don't want the Wall Street Journal to feel out of place either, because I'm getting involved in here as well. Yeah, I had an invite for some special offer, so I'm definitely gonna get involved. I'm just trying to remember if there's something else exciting. Oh, well, it's World. Hold on. There's an actual paper in here called Sisters. Sisters are doing it. Oh my god, I can't believe it's sang. It's World International Women's Day tomorrow, folks. Big up the girls. Whoop whoop. You know it. International Women's Day, yeah, tomorrow. And just in case, there's National Assembly of Women Weekend Conference. Ooh. www.sisters.org.uk, just in case anyone's interested. Right, I'm just going to briefly. So, the Human Genome Project, I'm going to summarise this, but you need to really read the link. So, in 1990, Human Genome Project was created, and it was to identify every single gene in DNA, every single genome, and to be able to see what it does each bit do and control or create. Yeah. So through that process, they've then been able to sequence, and it says it in this, in black and white, sequence viruses that target certain genomes that do certain things in your body. In addition, pharmaceutical companies have access to, it's a global database with these genomes on, these genome sequencing. So they've got an access to that data, so they can create drugs that will seemingly aid in one area, but because of their chemical makeup, they will, inhibit or not another genome. So they're playing the system with our genetics and their pharmaceutical knowledge on proteins and how to inhibit and activate certain things within our genes. So it make you feel like with these, this is why everyone needs to get off fucking prescription drugs like stat. We need to bring these pharmaceutical companies to their knees, like for real, because they're just playing. They're making money. Everything they're doing, none of these drugs like work flat out and cure you. Why? Because they're just trying to keep you there. So they might temporarily make you think that you're better in one sense, but look at the long list of side effects. The reason those side effects is because they've got something else in there that's inhibiting something else in your genomes, in your DNA. Like, just to make money, so that ultimately you're going to have, people go back and go, rather than preventing these things in the first place, they're just making more and more drugs, making us iller. I mean, the truth of the matter is, we're all addicts in some way, shape, or form, and the only way to heal is to know and acknowledge and accept that, and that we're the only ones that can heal ourselves ultimately. Because if we stop doing all of the things that make us ill, rather than go to a doctor, it's not their fault, rather than go to a doctor and just go, oh, patch me up, we're still not fucking fixing the fundamental problem. There's so many videos. I'll put loads of links in. Anyway, I've gone on for longer than I said I was going to already. But just really wanting to send out lovey love. Hope everyone is okay. We're smashing it. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you who as well, who I saw on Sophie Ridge this morning. What's her name? The youngest ever Scottish MP. Oh man, she's a legend. She because obviously what's going over there, whatever anyone thinks about Nicola Sturgeon, she has had to, in fact, any woman that's in power anywhere, think of the struggle that they would have had to go through in a man's world to get to where they are. I mean, it's just straight facts. And then you've got Nicola, who's again, unless you've read every fucking document on that Parliament website and know the facts, rather than just believing what's being said in the news or in printed press, then you really can't have an opinion on it. And I've shared with you the links to those documents because I've read quite a few of them. So, I mean, that's just being honest. Because no one knows, nobody was in those rooms, nobody was in those conversations. All you've got is the actual facts, which are printed in thousands of documents on that website. So you can't listen to what the media says, and you cannot listen to what the printed press says. So the only information then that you can refer to is if you can be bothered to read all of those documents. And if you can't, then you can't say it is or it isn't. And she has had to A, get to where she is in a man's world, and B, then try and stand up against a man for abuse against women, who is a very, very powerful man. So regardless of what anyone else thinks, she's a very brave woman. And I don't think that it'd be fair to try and make of any kind of ministerial code breaks when pretty much every fucking MP has broken ministerial code over the last 12 months. It would be a fucking farce. If she goes down for a ministerial code breach, then we should just dissolve government. Dissolve all the governments. Because that would just be like, it isn't a joke enough already what's gone on in the last one, but that would just be the absolute icing on the cake for me, like, for real. Oh, sorry, going back to this young Scott. No, I'm going to get her name because she deserves a shout out for this gem. Scottish young. Hold on. I'm just loving all the ladies coming up, get in the zone. Mary Black, that's it. Right, so she was on this interview, Sophie Ridge, on Sunday, right? Sky, love you. And she said, and this doesn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form, but she said, oh, it's like when she goes down to Parliament, she asked one of the older members of Parliament, I won't mention his name, when the school holidays were. And he turned to her, she relayed this story, he turned to her and went, I think you'll find it's called recess, darling. Oh my God, that would have been like a red rag to a bull. Serious. Like, is that how she's like, that's commonplace. That is fucking commonplace. That is how we got people that misogynistic running the country. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, please. Anyway, before I go, I've been missing my dad. I've shown you a picture of him before. This is my mum found this. This is funeral, you know, the little booklet. It's order of service. There you go. It says it on the front page. Oh. So he was a massive gambler. But he'd always win as well. He's a ledge. So I'm just going to read you a couple of things from it. Because it just ran. Poem, Abu Ben Adhem by James Henry Lee Hunt. Abu Ben Adhem, may his tribe increase, awoke one night from a deep dream of peace, and saw within the moonlight in his room, making it rich like a lily in bloom, an angel writing in a book of gold, exceeding peace had made Ben Adhem bold. And to the presence in the room he said, what writest thou? The vision raised its head, and with a look made all sweet accord answered the names of those who love the Lord. And is mine one? Said Abu. Nay, not so, replied the angel. Abu spoke more low but cheerly still, and said, I pray thee then, write me as one that loves his fellow men. The angel wrote and vanished. The next night it came, and with a great awakening light, and showed the names whom love of God had blessed. And lo, Ben Adem's name led all the rest. The 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, or through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. And I'll just read it. This is the last one. It's a short poem. Ode by M.A. Hamilton. Grieve, but not too much, because he laughed a lot, loved and was loved a lot, played a lot, felt a lot, sang a lot, watched and saw a lot, ate, drank and dreamt, and sometimes snored a lot, and he leaves a lot. And then, as I said, my dad's favourite song was Not British City Limits. There it is. That was the recessional music. So, gone twice over what I said I was going to. Hey ho, these things happen. So I'm going to be in my zone of excellence starting from tomorrow, where I'm going to just be focused. I guess it's going to start now. Do you know what I mean? I'm already in it. Yeah, just reaching new levels of all things. So anyway, I hope everyone is good, and if you need help, just put your hand up. There'll be someone there for you. I'll put some extra things in on things that are good for your mind, foods that are good for your mind, meditation. I'll put a link into the CBD oil industry investment opportunity. I will put in a link to the Genome project so you can just blow your mind on the like seriously. And then what else was there? Cryptocurrency. I think everyone needs to get up on this. Oh, one last thing. We need immediately to be teaching. Oh, I got a pen all over my hand. Look. We need to be teaching our children from the get-go coding. I mean, along with loads of other things that we should be teaching them. But I mean, in all seriousness, like education just needs to change, doesn't it? Because the way the world is going, look how far like technology-wise we are. Why are we still teaching them like things? We treat their brains; they're like sponges. Yeah, coding as well is really good for your mind, Because even with Charlie, he just got it. Because he's got a quick, he's got a quick brain. And so he gets frustrated and loses attention and focus because his brain's not being challenged. He's not been fed enough information quick enough. So then he just gets antsy. But stick him on got him a coding class, a couple of coding classes, and he just got it. Their brain, and everything's going to be more digital. We just have to accept this and prepare for it properly. And the best way to do that is to start teaching the kids coding from the get-go. And meditation and mindset and more history and all the languages and how to be creative. Just go. You know what I mean? So, happy Sunday. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are. Yeah. Can you hear my stomach rumbling? That's outrageous. I've got a beast in there. Do you know what I mean? It's like, ah. Right, stop it. Right, next. I love you, and I hope you have a lovely afternoon, evening.